Hi, this week we're talking with Gary Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson. Mayor, welcome.
Thank you, Steve. It's great to be here.
So, one of the topics I wanted to touch on was the Sheraton Hotel. There was actually an article in the New York Times talking about the Sheraton coming down. This is something that's been talked about for a long time. It was mentioned in your State of the City address where you kind of took one of the contractors to task for not wrapping it up fast enough. When are we going to see the Sheraton come down?
Well, it's actually something that is happening as we speak. The asbestos is being removed from the interior of the building. There is also asbestos on the outside, and so by June or July, you will begin to see layers of the actual building coming down and being carried away.
So this is the tallest building in the city. We're going to see it imploding at some point like they do on television. I know there's even a webcam set up to take a look at it when it happens. Yeah?
There is a webcam. There will not be an implosion because of the asbestos, and still with them removing the asbestos, there's still a concern about the residue. So it will simply be the old-fashioned demolition, ball and chain, let's get it down.
So this is, again, the largest building in the city. It's been vacant for a long time. Is this symbolism, or is this part of an overall plan for the downtown?
It's both. Certainly it is an eyesore in the middle of the community. And you know, what I've said previously is that the Sheraton really represents what is best about Gary. In its heyday, when it was open, it was a beautiful facility. It was a meetings place and a place that was frequently used. But now it is an eyesore. It is in the middle of our downtown, right next to the seat of government. It also represents a fact that when government says that we're going to do something, we can get it done. I said when I was elected, even prior to, that one of my first priorities would be to tear the Sheraton down. It is now coming down, and so it's not a promise, it's not simply a gimmick, it is something that is happening and something that I hope will restore confidence in citizens.
Real briefly, we've got other topics to get to, but is there like an overall plan? There's some talk of like what to do with the Genesis Center. We've seen a lot of stories coming out on that. What is the overall plan for downtown Gary?
Well, the overall plan for downtown Gary, particularly the 500 and 600 blocks, is that, or 400, 500, and 600 blocks, is that we will demolish what we need to and really revitalize or rehabilitate what can be rehabilitated. As an example, in proximity to the Sheraton is the 504 Broadway building. There is now a project underway to redo that building. We have a bank who has committed to moving into that building. We're going to create a drive-through that will be visible from Broadway to get rid of some of the buildings that are in disrepair. And so there will be an entirely new look to the 400 block of Broadway, to the 500 block of Broadway, and then on to the 600 block of Broadway, where we'll be doing a lot of demolition courtesy of a partnership with the Office of Community and Rural Affairs in the state.
What I'm not hearing is convention centers. What I'm not hearing is baseball stadiums and things like that. We're not talking about big major projects for the downtown, or just a kind of a redrafting of what the downtown looks like.
Well, there's an overall downtown redevelopment plan, and actually there's an overall plan for the north side of Gary. It's called the North Side Redevelopment Plan. It focuses on Horace Mann, Emerson, and the Miller, Glen Ryan, Etna area. What you're not hearing, you're right, is that one-shot deal that is supposed to create thousands of jobs and create all of this economic revitalization. I believe in singles. I think that if you hit a series of singles, you still get to home base. And so we're being very methodical and we're being very careful about the process that we do that in.
One of the things that's downtown right now is the South Shore Station. You've come out in support of extending the South Shore to down into Dyer, maybe down into Lowell. Why the decision there? Do you worry at all that you're talking about taking a significant amount of development away from the northern tier?
Well, my support of the South Shore extension comes with a caveat, and that caveat is that there will be additional reinvestment in the northern stations or the existing line, and that we will also invest in bus transportation, something that we have not invested in the last 2 or 3 years as a region. The city of Gary has invested in it, but not from a regional standpoint. And so I believe that the three-tiered or three-pronged approach to that investment will in fact mean revitalization, not just for the southern part of the county, but for the northern cities as well.
So are we talking about committing money, like the congressman is asking all the communities in Lake County?
Yes, we have. We have requested, or we haven't requested already, but it is our intention for 2015 and 2016 to request that the City Council allocate a portion of our seeded funds to the South Shore project, which again includes not just the expansion, but investment in existing lines and bus transportation. It would be as much as 20% in 16, and it's our intent to request $100,000 in 2015.
There had been talk of building a new station on South Shore Station. It kind of got scuttled. It was talk of building it outside of Miller. Then it was talk about trying to build it downtown. Ultimately, it went nowhere.
That discussion is not scuttled. In fact, it is still on the table, and that is, again, a part of our North Side development. One of the determinations we have to make is where is the best place between the downtown station and the Lake Street station for the really embellished or increased station. And, you know, it doesn't have to be either or. It may be that one station serves more of a bus transportation need, the other station serves more of a train need. If you've seen people get off of the Lake Street station recently, flowing to the brewery out of Chicago, then you know that there is a market and a great opportunity for transit-oriented development.
About this time last year, there were a lot of concern over Gary's rising murder rate. It was like 53 murders last year. Now over this, and since the beginning of the year, we've seen a real trailing off of homicides in the city of Gary. Do you think, is this something that the city has really done to change the way it's fought crime? Or did we just simply have a really cold winter and it kept a lot of the worst elements in the house?
Well, I think it's certainly all of the above. It was an intentional decision of the city to look at crime in a different way. And so we have prioritized those individuals who we believe to be creating the largest problems in our city. And so we're focused on them, whether it's through the cooperation of their probation officers, their parole officers, whether it is through their employers. We're focused on them, and the message is simple. We want to catch you doing right, but we will address you when you're doing wrong.
Is that a major change? Are you satisfied with the amount of help you were able to get from the state after making that call out to have help from state government?
Absolutely. We've developed a great working relationship with State Police Superintendent Doug Carter and his team, certainly Lieutenant Jerry Williams, who just got a promotion, and so we're sorry to see him leave direct supervision at the Lowell Post, but we know that he will continue to be a partner. But more importantly, we are a part of a federal partnership that involves the Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Programs Diagnostic Center, which brings everyone together.
I had one more question, really, and I've been going up in the Etna area, going around, talking to neighbors up there, because I know Etna is one of the areas, and I think you touched on it, that it's receiving help from more state and federal aid here. It's potentially targeted for a couple of different programs, including to potentially demolish some abandoned houses.
Yes.
But boy, when I talk to people up there, I talk to neighbors who've been next to houses that are not only abandoned, but they've been burned out for a dozen years. What do you say to those people? I mean, these are homeowners that have decided they're going to stick it out even under those circumstances, but what can you really tell them?
I say to them that help is on the way. Certainly, many of the structures around the city have needed to be demolished for a long time. I can say to them that I wasn't the mayor then, and now that I am the mayor, our team has developed a plan. We're going to submit a proposal to the state for the hardest hit funds. That's due on April 17th, and we anticipate that many of the structures that have been eyesores in all of our communities for a long time will be addressed through demolition or deconstruction.
Well, Mayor, I want to thank you very much for being on.
Thank you.
Appreciate this.
It's been a great opportunity.
Thank you.